welcome to my channel, White Ghost and a Malaysian. My name is White Ghost and I'm here to help you with my travel pass applications. Background about me, I'm a UK citizen married to a Malaysian spouse. We were separated due to COVID and now we are reunited after finally getting approval after the 4th time of applying with my travel pass. Today I'm going to help, or try to help, guide people in similar circumstances to myself to help you be reunited with your loved ones. So the first thing you need to do is to make sure that you have all of these pieces of documentation. When you have all these pieces of documentation, what you're going to need to do next is to compress them and make them fit into 5 lots of 250 kilobytes. To do that, you might need to download a couple of apps. The apps that you can download are Cam Scanner and I Love PDF. There's also another one which I believe I always say it wrong, I think it's Adobe that you can potentially use as well. With these, if you'd like to save a little bit of money, what you can do is you could subscribe free for a month, condense all the paperwork that you need to condense, and then cancel the subscription to save yourself a little bit of money and not having to pay for all of the editing and apps on a monthly basis. So first things first of what you need to do is, when you have all the documentation, is you need to merge it all together. Now what I merged together was my wife's IC card, my passport, my wife's passport, including our stamps, and my birth certificate, all in one PDF. In my second PDF, I had my marriage certificate, and I also had my wedding photo to prove that me and my long lost Malaysian are still married and together. The third documentation that I had was my vaccination to prove that I was double vaccinated. To get that, you can simply go onto the NHS app and download the confirmation of the certificate to prove that you are in fact double vaccinated. I also applied for my long-term spouse visa and got booked in a date which I added alongside my COVID vaccination to be my 3rd PDF. And for my 4th PDF, I had a support letter which was written in Malay, the local language, that I used to submit. After waiting for 2 weeks, I finally got my approval, and happy days, I am now in Malaysia. Now, after you have compressed all these documentations under 250 kilobytes, what you need to do is you need to fill in online the details. To do that, you must go to Google and go to this site. When you are on this site, you can scroll down, and if you need to change to English, you can click the British icon on the right hand corner, which would change the language from Malay into English. That's if it isn't already English. Failing that, you then not failing that, from there you then go down to the My Travel Pass application and get started. First things that comes up is a list of criteria to see if you are eligible to fly. Now, because I'm White Ghost and my long lost Malaysian really wanted me and she's my spouse, it meant that I was eligible to fly. I'm sure you have similar situations where it says that you are also eligible to fly and to move into Malaysia. So as I clicked on the proceed button, which I believe is the blue button down below, you will then go into, and it will ask you for your travel or your travel description. All this wants to know is simply whether you're flying by boat, whether you're sailing by boat, whether you are flying by plane, or whether you're, I don't know, running, cycling or driving. All they need to know is where you are, how you are getting to Malaysia. So mine was flying from London Heathrow to Kuala Lumpur. I didn't need to put in any details of the flights or the ticket numbers or anything like that, just that I was flying from this airport to that airport. Similar boat from here to here, etc. They don't need to know that you caught the A38 bus down into your local bus shelter and then catch a coach down to, they don't need to know every single detail, they only need to know from point A to really point B. You know, that's it. From then on you proceed and it will take you to the actual page which you need to fill out to submit. You have a company tag and you have an individual tag. Depending on if a company is investing in you or is lucky enough to invest in you, which I had that, and to sponsor you to go out there to work, or if it's merely your lovely partner who wants to have you out there, it's going to need to be her details or their details which need to be filled in. So you'd click on the individual bit, put your spouse's IC number in, and then her details, including preferably a Malaysian number. When it comes to the email bit, what you can do is you can actually put your own email, because that's the email which sends whether you've been approved or unfortunately rejected / declined. From then on you will go down and you'll fill in your own details, just where it's asked for just your passport with what sex you are and whereabouts your, you know, what's your nationality. From there then comes the 5 PDFs of under 250 kilobytes. Now, first of all, it asks for your passport, so that's where you put in your passport with your condensed passport with all your stamps in, which is merged with your wife's passport and her stamps, her IC card and your own birth certificate. That goes in the first PDF. In the second PDF, I put my marriage certificate, and I also put the photos to prove that we are still married and happily married, I'd like to think, which is good. In the third slot, what I put was my COVID vaccine proof that I've had both my vaccines, and also my long-term spouse visa application, or my date for my appointment. Now, I do think that this thing of getting booked in your long-term spouse visa application was one of the reasons that helped me in actually being able to fly to Malaysia, because normally on the requests that I was simply getting, you know, declined, rejected due to you know, only wanting to travel there short term. The fact that this long-term spouse visa is showing to the Malaysian immigration that you're actually looking to move there on a long-term basis. And finally, the fourth application that I put in was the spouse letter itself, talking about basically wanting me to come over there and the reasons why I should be over there with my long-lost Malaysian. Luckily, my wife was kind enough to fill out the form, because my English isn't the best at the best of times, and she managed to get an interpreter or someone who could understand Malay, and to change it all into Malay for her. I do also think that this is one of the other main big points which helps people get their approval, is the fact that it is in the Malay language, which is easier for them to read. What we also did with each heading on the PDFs that we used, we actually put it in Malay as well, just to help the Malaysian immigration people read it more clearer or understand in their own language, because after all, English is their second language. From then on, you have to unfortunately wait. I had to wait for 2 weeks in total before finally getting my approval. Now, these were the steps that I took. There's also another slot, because like I said before, there were 5 PDFs available. So if you want to add any other information which you feel will help you or benefit you in being successful, feel free to put that in that 5th slot available, or that 5th PDF slot available. If you have any children, or if it's more than one person flying, I do believe you have to scroll down below and do similar to what I did for me, because obviously I was just me single person just flying over and not in a group, but I'm sure it would be reasonably similar. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, like I said earlier, and hopefully I'll be doing more videos on how to finally get approval for my first time long-term spouse visa application, and I'll be also doing a step-by-step guide into what I did to get that approval and various other things which I'll be showing on my show. So thank you for watching, and best of luck and take care.